Hello everyone, in today's video we will be looking at the Ultramarines Bladeguard veteran from Warhammer, of course, from Joytoy. So this is the first Joytoy figure I've bought, the first Warhammer figure I've ever bought as well, to be honest. I'm fairly new to Warhammer 40k, still learning a lot of the lore because there is a lot of it. So I do apologise if some of my terms or maybe my lore isn't quite up to date yet, but yeah, I've been getting into it now, the more into the franchise, and yes, it's a fascinating world, and I kind of just wanted to grab one of these because I've been looking at them for a little while now. It's the back of the box there with everything you get, and yeah, these ones, obviously there's McFarlane, I think Doosan, and Bandai, I think it is, but the Joytoy ones look more in line with what I sort of like to collect, but there is a vast majority of them. I think this guy's probably been out for quite a while, but I like the look of him, and so yeah, I went for him. Unfortunately, the box is damaged, which is often the case. I find when I do, on a rare occasion I do buy a figure from Amazon, the box is nearly always damaged, which is a shame, but I'm going to open this up anyway. But yeah, it would have been nice if it hadn't have been stepped on. But like I said, with all my Star Wars figures, that always seems to be the case. I don't know if they're just in a warehouse. I guess if this guy is a couple of years old, maybe now at this point, he might have been sat somewhere for a while. But yeah, let's just hope all is well inside. Okay, so straight out of the box, there's the little stand that fell out, first of all. And then, yeah, here's everything on the plastic there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and open this up. Okay, so here he is. And yeah, it's looking amazing. Yeah, the foot's just popped off there. But that just goes back on there. Yeah, so these figures, what appealed to me is I think I prefer smaller scale figures. Like with my Star Wars videos, I've always been more for the vintage collection, small sort of intricate little details, rather than bigger figures. Maybe sort of some 6-inch figures are okay, but typically I'll go for the smaller one. So that's why I've gone for the Joytoy one, because yeah, the other ones are just a bit big, and I feel like with these, the detail on this is pretty great. I don't know if you can see there all the different shades, and even the blue sort of around the edges, there's sort of the shade in there. So I will say, obviously the U there is a bit grubby, and it's a bit grubby on that side as well. Don't know if that's meant to be the case, so I can't really critique it. Maybe this guy has just been got a bit sort of grubby in battle, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I'm guessing all these bits pop off. I think the pauldrons do. They move as well, so there's a lot of wiggle room there. Swivel at the waist and on the chest there. There's the face sculpt there. And yeah, just all of the paint seems to be spot on. Got the scabbard there for the sword. So yeah, all this paintwork is pretty great. It's all sort of spot on. So that's very nice. And then you have the sword there, which is looking awesome as well. I'm loving this paintwork on there. That looks fantastic. I believe these are called power packs. As I said, I'm still sort of learning, so please don't jump on me if I do call something the wrong thing. But yeah, that's the trend continues there with the paintwork being very good indeed. We have the bolt gun, or bolt pistol maybe, I want to say gun. But yeah, paintwork is pretty spot on and great there as well. That is very nice. You have this here, which I believe might be a holster, I think, because then we have this one here, which is identical, but there is obviously a gun sticking out of there. I mean, it doesn't come out, it's all one piece, but you can sort of switch between them, which is nice. And then we've got, I think, yeah, it's 2 closed fists there. And then it's looking like 2 open fists here. Those slightly different, so one for the gun, I'm guessing, one for the sword, but I imagine you can do either or. And then we have the shield, which is looking very nice as well. Paintwork is all pretty spot on there. It's looking pretty decent on the back there as well. So yeah, that's looking good. And then the helmet there, which is a swappable head. So that is looking really cool as well. I mean, I'm loving the paintwork around there. It just looks so, I don't know, I guess rugged, I guess. Like it's been worn, it's not too shiny, or it's not just a dull all one colour, which some of the other sort of figures looked a bit like that. I can't really review them because I haven't had them myself, but yeah, there's no complaints on this guy. He is pretty fantastic. Like I said, these bits look there. I don't know if you can really see them on the camera. Yeah, you can see it there. Looks a bit grubby. If it's meant to be like that, maybe there could have been a better way of doing it, but I'm not so sure. But either way, I think apart from that, everything else, there's not really any sort of paint spills or anything out of the lines. Something just fell off there. Oh, yeah, something off the belt there, a little pouch there has fallen off. So it looks like, yeah, just like probably everything pops off, so you can sort of swap things around. But yeah, I'll get this guy set up in a few different poses and we'll talk a little bit more about him. Okay, so some final thoughts on this figure. I think it's great. It's lived up to my expectations. There's plenty of accessories which are all really nice, because I did look at these figures and I thought they seem a bit pricey. If they're good and you know, you sort of getting what you pay for, then that's great. I had heard and sort of read some things about it before I bought it, that there can be some sort of quality control issues with Joytoy, in the sense that they are very good figures, but sometimes the paint spill and this, that and the other. But I haven't really seen anything. You know, maybe there's a little bit of gold on one of the pauldrons maybe that sort of spills over into the blue ever so slightly, but it's only really stuff that you're going to notice if you look up close at. And even then, it's, you know what I'm like. If any of you watching this have watched any of my other videos, I sort of tend to pick up on little paint defects, and it sort of does bug me a bit. But with this, I'm not really getting that. Nothing is frustrating me with it. So yeah, I you know, they are a bit more pricey than figures I'm used to getting. And I have seen that as a bit of a talking point, is the price. But yeah, you can't fault it really. It's the only sort of thing is there are so many, and it's a good thing that there's like a vast array. You don't have to collect them all, but with some of my things, like I collect vintage collection Star Wars figures, and another one is like the Monster Hunter figure builder series. There's hundreds of them. I kind of want them all, but I've got to sort of temper that a bit and say, well, you know, I definitely cannot afford, at the price of this, I definitely cannot afford too many of them. But yeah, the fact that you've got that range, you know, the different, it's great. You're not just stuck with a choice of 2 or 3. You can, there's hundreds of these guys. So that is great what they're doing. But like I said, you know, I've been lucky, I think, with this guy, but if that is true about the quality control and for the price, it would be a bit gutting to open something. But I guess that's just the way it is with these types of things. You run that risk. But yeah, I'm very satisfied with this guy. I was a bit apprehensive because, like I said, I haven't collected any of these before. But yeah, I've been starting to get more and more. I've tried a few times over the years to get into Warhammer, and there's just so much stuff. I don't know where to begin, and there's you know, you're sidetracked with different factions and this, that, and the other, and you know, it's a lot to take in. So, but I've started again now, really proper getting into it. I think Space Marine 2 sort of helped with that. It was a great game. I think that's reinvigorated it. Each time a new game comes out, it was Dark Tide last year for me when I played it. You know, I sort of jumped back into that universe, and I kind of, you know, was looking at the merch and stuff, and I was looking at these guys and all the different, you know, figures that they do. And I think I'll probably get more in the future at some point, but this is the first one I've got, so, and I'm very happy with it. One other little thing I would say, I'm not entirely sure, it's called the little shield bit on the chest. I know there's probably a proper name for it, but I'm just going to call it that for now. It did pop off, and you expect it to, because all of these little sort of trinkets and stuff on the belt and all that, everything seems to come off. So that just popped off quite easily. I didn't really pull it, and it almost looked like it was meant to be glued down, because there is some sort of like residue under there. So you can have it where the shield is off the chest piece on the armor there, but yeah, I wasn't sure at first. I thought, oh no, was that it looked like it was glued on there. It looked like it wasn't maybe meant to come off, but it came off with such ease, and it has kind of stuck back on in the place. So maybe the residue is just one of those, maybe one of those quality control things that I've read about. So I will stop waffling on. Thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, or you know, any other figures from this line that you know you really love, and just anything at all, share your thoughts down below. I'm happy to engage with anyone and everyone, and yeah, just thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.